So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. All right, so listen, the next videos we getting in will make you question everything. So remember, it's for entertainment purposes only. Let's check them out.
Some of the more than 30 suspects were already behind bars in state prison and on Rikers Island for other crimes. They were brought into the 111th precinct to be charged in this major gang conspiracy case. So serious were the safety concerns about the explosive rivalry between the crews known as Money World and their opposition, or Ops, the local trap stars, that police booked them at separate precincts to keep their family members and associates separated when they showed up.
It's pretty much shoot on sight when they see the opposition.
Bro, they gotta be booked in separate. If you don't think it's crazy Wild Wild West style outside now, you out of your mind. This stuff is getting out of control. They had to book them and like, used to be the mere thought of jail or anything like that would kind of get you back in line. To these jokers these days, bro, it's like the next stop on their destination. And we all know what that is. This is crazy.
This is Rikers Island, a jail that was named after a judge who wanted to uphold slavery. Richard Riker was the owner of the island in the 1800s. His ancestor, a Dutch immigrant, Abraham Riken, purchased the land in the 17th century. He was known for abusing the Fugitive Slaves Act, which was popular for capturing runaway slaves. So when a black person was brought before Riker, he would quickly issue a certificate of removal before the accused had a chance to bring witnesses to testify that they were free. Judge Riker would speed up the process to capture blacks who fled the South, and even collected a kickback fee from bounty hunters for each slave he helped send back to slavery. Historians also share that bounty hunters often kidnapped children of free blacks in New York, and he would still help send these free blacks to the South and collect the kickback as an honorable judge. The land was sold to the city in 1884 for $180K, which is about $5 million today. The city expressed the need to open a men's jail as they needed to replace the previous jail, which was on Roosevelt Island, also known as Welfare Island at the time. Now the jail is known for its harsh, brutal conditions. It's known for so many murders, and is often referred to as a slave ship. Isn't it ironic that the history relates to its correlation today?
I wonder if more people heard that. This needs to go viral. You know what I mean? It only has 9,000 views. It needs to be millions and millions of views. And maybe if people hear that and let that sink in, they wouldn't go there. They wouldn't go there. Maybe that's what we need to do. Try to make this video go viral so people can get that in their brain and make them kind of have some second thoughts before they do some of the things they're doing.
I'm gonna try to be clear with this, and I don't have much time. It's only a 3-minute video, and I'll be running out of time. Rikers Island. Young brother asked me if Rikers Island have ever been there, and I told him the truth. Yes, I've been there 3 times. Every time I was lucky to get out. That place is the biggest piece of misery, dangerous, psychopathic, mental health, nasty, and the COs are so immune to violence and dumb that they're worse than the inmates.
Bro said he was lucky to make it out of there all 3 times. All 3. Not just one of the times he had a real bad scare. All 3 times.
Last time I was on Rikers Island, the COVID epidemic was going on. This was in October of 2020. 25% of the population had COVID. The COs were all calling off sick. They didn't want to come in. The gangs were running the jail. If you was weak, you wasn't going to eat. People was getting their face cut up every day. It wasn't nothing to see somebody walking down the hall handcuffed with their face cut up. You could see their teeth from where they didn't got cut, faced.
What's happening on Rikers right now is wild. So here are 3 things you need to know today about the crisis in 90 seconds or less. Number 1, Rikers houses over 6,000 detainees on a given day, but most of them have not been convicted of a crime. In fact, most people are in Rikers because they can't afford to pay their bail, sometimes as low as even $1. Number 2.
I've heard that. Matter of fact, it was one of the stories that came across the screen earlier that said, man did 5 months in jail and didn't know that his bond was $2. $2, bro. Are you $2? I feel like I could call home and somebody could find that in the couch cushion. $2?
2. Did you know there were more deaths in 2022 at Rikers than there were in the past 25 years at the jail? And number 3, the wildest thing of all. Mayor Adams and the Department of Corrections Commissioner Louis Molina are no longer telling anyone when someone dies on their watch. They are covering up their officers' deadly behavior, cameras in the jail, and... Pause, please. Like I was saying, they are covering up their officers' deadly behavior, cameras in the jail, and, we suspect, they are covering up when people die. It is obvious that Mayor Adams and the Department of Corrections are deadly leaders of Rikers, and we are demanding change. And, we're demanding it now. There is only one solution: a federal receivership. A federal receiver will be nonpartisan, and they can oversee and manage the jail. This really is the only way to save lives today and make sure the jail actually closes by 2027. We must take the keys from Mayor Adams and Commissioner Molina now. The judge can and must appoint a receiver. It's happened before, and it can happen now. But you can take action today by calling, emailing, tweeting the judge, and demanding that she appoints a federal receiver over the New York City Department of Corrections immediately. What's happening on Rikers right now?
Listen, man, I thought I had already heard that they were shutting that prison down. Or it was in the works or something like that. Like, maybe need to get some more news coverage on this and try to continue to put pressure to get this stuff shut down. That needs to be a lot of deaths and the different things. They ain't even telling people when their family passes away. That's too much.
Hello, TikTokers. Welcome to Real Law Talk. A lot of people ask me about the conditions at Rikers Island. Rikers Island is the main jail for New York City. It's where you go if you're pre-trial or if you're serving less than a year. The conditions of Rikers are abysmal. There's a federal case going on. It's been all over the news. 22 people died last year at Rikers because it's full of untreated mental illness that the city simply can't or won't address. I don't know. I don't do politics. But as an anecdote, this is how bad it is. I recently became aware of a case where a man was jailed by a family court judge for not paying $41,000 in child support. He was jailed yesterday at approximately 11 a.m. He spent one night at Rikers. Today at 1:30 p.m., a check was delivered to the mother for $41,000 to convince the judge to let him out of jail. That tells you a lot, and that's Real Law Talk.
God! Now, you know it had to be some time before he went to court, right? So in his mind, he was never paying that money. He was going to go through the depths of you know what before he paid that money. And I guess Rikers was it. That man came up with $41,000 after spending one night in Rikers. I don't know about you. That told me a lot. That told me a whole lot.
After 5 years as a correction officer at Rikers Island, Jonathan Suarez says he had enough.
The inmates completely took control of the facility.
Says he was working 16-hour days, no lunch breaks, and often the only officer guarding 45 inmates.
This year alone, we've lost 600 officers. We're getting assaulted, and this is our sad reality.
The city council voted against adding more than 500 officers this year to replace the ones who left. And now the council's looking to remove a form of discipline inside the jail called punitive segregation, otherwise known as solitary confinement.
How could somebody basically commit a crime in jail and have no punishment in jail?
Some critics call it torture. The officers' union calls it an essential jail within a jail for violent inmates who act out.
The jails is going to get worse. Is this going to be a zoo?
After 5 years as a
Now, I know y'all hear this and y'all like, golly, Rikers is just that's the devil. That's hell. You just don't want to go there. But here's another thing. Let me let you in on something else. It's not just that one prison. It's a lot more prisons like that. It's a lot of people that seen this clip and was like, I know how they feel. Or I know what I seen or went through or witnessed. It's happening in a lot of these jails, man. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here and trying to speak up for people who have been convicted of just heinous crimes. No. But think about what's going on and happening to the officers that work there.
Rikers Island, story time? Got you. For sure, you wouldn't be smiling on Rikers Island. So my first time on Rikers Island was in the year of 1996. I had got caught with a .45 automatic pistol on my way across that bridge, shackled to another stranger. It was kind of scary. Anyway, the dude I was shackled to, he looked at me, he said, "You ever been to Rikers Island?" I said, "Nah." He said, "I can tell." Yeah, it was a scary experience, you know, all the stories I done heard about Rikers Island from homeboys going there and coming home, man. So he was like, "Whatever you do, stay on your P's and Q's, don't trust nobody, and get ready to fight." I'm like, "Damn, get ready to fight?" He was like, "Yeah, off rip. If you gotta set it off, you gotta throw the first punch, throw the first punch." I'm like, "Damn, gladiator school type shit." So I remember I had a brand new pair of Nike Cortez on. He said, "Those same sneakers on your feet, trust me, you're gonna be fighting for them." He wasn't lying. Off rip, I had to fight for my sneakers. Back then, you was able to wear your regular clothes also. So if you had some fly jeans on, or a fly t-shirt, or a fly sweater, anything fly, you was fighting for it. So pretty much it's a place where you gotta earn your respect. I don't care who you are, where you from, how big, small, handicapped, whatever, you're gonna be fighting. Back then, the gang activity was really heavy. You had Latin Kings, you had Bloods, you had Crips, you had Nietas, you had 5% Nation, which is not a gang, and then you had the Muslims, also, which is not a gang, but they got down too. I was in the building called C-74. It was the adolescent building back then. C-74, Adolescents at War. That was the nickname of the building. So mainly, it's a lot of cut-ins, you know. They call them buck 50s. Few stabbings, but more cut-ins than anything, because, you know, guys get stripes by leaving scars in guys' faces. So here's the worst thing I seen happen to a man. This guy came in, he was known as a snitch. So word get around really quick on Rikers Island. So anyway, this guy came to the house I was in, 2 Main House of Pain. Long story short, they tricked him into playing a game of spades. So while he was sitting down in the day room at this table, they dealing the cards, somebody came behind him, put him in a headlock, and put him to sleep, drug him to the corner. He was in the corner unconsciously sleeping. What happened next was crazy. Guys just started walking up to him and cutting him in the face while he was asleep, unconscious, tagging his face, marking his face up. This guy's face was dripping with blood. And that's one of the worst things I see, man. Stay out of Rikers Island, stay out of jail. Right.
Jeez, man. And look what he was in there for. Got in trouble for getting caught with a firearm. He wasn't in there because he got caught with that crime nonetheless. And look what he witnessed. Bro, more and more kids, teenagers, adolescents, young adults need to hear these stories, need to see these videos to know what they're getting themselves into. I hear it all the time, bro. Even like he said, when he was riding to Rikers, but he could already tell he was scared.
Actress Lala Anthony breaks bread with young detainees, encouraging them to turn their lives around. New York One's Cheryl Wills has the story.
What's up, heart? You good? A warm hug and a hot meal with actress Lala Anthony, the activist on hand for this special Thanksgiving dinner with young detainees at Rikers Island.
We go through things like a family, we get through it like a family, and I'm just excited that we all here together to have a meal.
A meal that feeds the body and the soul. Turkey with all the trimmings, stuffing, sweet potatoes, and cornbread, with some counseling on the side, sprinkled with love. These young men, all between the ages of 18 and 21, part of Anthony's foundation 360, where they get invaluable support while behind bars, from mentorship to legal services. The star honored to break bread with young people, determined to start a new chapter.
I'm just excited that they got to bring some of their family and friends to share in a meal and just appreciate each other, love each other, talk about what we're grateful for.
I want to thank you, God, for today, for allowing Lala and the commission and the water to give us this day with our family and our loved ones. I want to thank you for the food we're about to nourish inside of our bodies. I pray for all our families. I pray everybody get through what they're going through. And I just pray we have a good day. Amen.
Amen. Members of the 360 initiative also grateful to be seen and heard.
Before I got into the initiative, it was like I didn't really have nothing to look forward to. Just going through my days. Now I'm here. It's like I know, like I wake up tomorrow, I get to see Lala, I get to see Britt, I get to see the pastor, I get to see White, I get to see DC. I got loved ones here for me. Just making my bed a little bit easier.
It helps a lot. She showed me a different way how I could value my time while I'm in here.
Anthony's guidance truly makes a big difference in their lives.
Lala was talking to him. She's pushing him to continue his music and change the lyrics of his music because he's so influential. So she's pushing him to, you have this talent, you have this power, you have this following, and if you change, people are going to follow you. You're going to be a leader.
Lala Anthony is not just here for the holidays. All year round, she brings her celebrity friends to Rikers to share words of wisdom with young people ready to make a fresh new start.
There is life after this. There is life after this. This is a moment in your lifetime, but this doesn't define your life, and I want to make sure that they know that.
Actress Lala Anthony.
That's what's up. I thought I saw on her page, because I think I follow her on social media. I think I saw her on her page. She was getting clothes from celebrities. I think Fabulous had donated clothes for them to get once they, I think, get out and transition and stuff like that. That's rehabilitation right there. That's what you expect, the type of things you expect. Maybe they don't have the funds to bring a Lala in, or not even the funds. Maybe they don't have the connections with some celebrities or somebody, but celebrities are influential. If you could tap in with them and figure out a way where y'all can partner and do different things, I don't know, cut them some tax breaks or something. Do something for them and bring more of them in. A lot of those celebrities can influence them gentlemen and ladies in these prisons because they look up and listen to their music, or they look at their movies, they watch the movies, they look up to them. And if you don't think it's talent in those jails, bro, it's some of the most talented people in jail. Some of them just made a bad mistake. You know what I'm saying? So I salute to her for doing what she's doing, bro. That's huge. And if she could just reach one or two, that's one or two more. That's dope. I like that.
That he's not sure the beleaguered Rikers Island jail should close permanently in 2027 as planned. But in that case, what would happen to all the community jails that have already caused so much controversy and have cost so much money? Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang reports from Chinatown.
It looks like the ball has switched sides again in the ongoing confusion over Rikers Island.
What?
Eric Adams at City Hall Tuesday dropped quite a bombshell, suggesting a possible second chance for the troubled prison.
Those who are on Rikers now, because of bail reform and because of other reforms, you really have to do something bad to go to Rikers. Are we as a city willing to say that 2,000 extremely dangerous people, we're going to turn them back onto the streets? I'm not ready to say that.
Former Mayor Bill de Blasio pushed to shut down Rikers.
Maybe he need to hear some of these stories we was just listening to. Maybe he needed to hear those, actually talk to the people and hear what's going on there.
By 2027, but now the current mayor wants city council to reconsider, given the astronomical costs of shutting down the huge incarceration center, then spending billions more to build neighborhood prisons in 4 out of the 5 boroughs. Projections are those new prisons will be way over budget and way too small by the time they're finished.
We have to remain safe as a city. As the plan currently stands, it's a question that is this a good public safety decision?
Chinatown has been fighting against building the world's largest prison in this small ethnic community, which has been crushed by COVID and anti-Asian attacks.
It's just really trying to sort of destroy Chinatown's original flavor or social infrastructure, which I just really resent.
The community has been protesting, organizing. We filed multiple lawsuits. The community board has been against it.
Adding to the confusion, there is movement now for the federal government to take over Rikers. While that winds its way through the court system, the future of these borough prisons remains uncertain.
That is not.
All these officials need to do is either talk to some of the past inmates who have went there, or either talk to some of the guards that have quit. There's your reason why it needs to be shut down right there. Right there. They'll give you everything you need to know. And that just goes to show why I always feel like these politicians aren't tapped in with the people. They not. Can't be. Listen, man, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know what you thought of this video, bro. Till next one, I'm gone, man.